Using a stored procedure for an insert or update or delete is a way of making use of the tables in the abstract. And as I'd mentioned previously, it is possible, just like views and functions, to create stored procedures that will present data from a table in the abstract. So using inserts, updates, deletes, or select procs are all examples of ways of working with a abstraction layer. And stored procedures are part of this abstraction layer. It's considered a best practice to use this so that if changes happen over time, you can adjust the output so that web applications or other applications won't break. Now, with a stored procedure, a select stored procedure might look something like this. Select customers. Now just put a select statement in here. Very, very, very simple. I'm going to execute the stored procedure. I do want to be careful not to create the stored procedure with the execute as part of the stored procedure. Now, I've got the end command there. That'll help. When I execute the stored procedure, it didn't help enough. You can see that it keeps executing the stored procedure. Now, Microsoft is wise to this trick, so they stopped me at 32 calls to the stored procedure. But it is best to put the word go right after your creation of the stored procedure to make sure that that does not happen. Because otherwise it just thinks that, oh, you must have wanted this right inside the stored procedure, and it keeps calling itself recursively. Another thing I might do is I might, of course, add parameters so I can filter out the data I want. So in the where clause, I just go through and I say, where it's true that the customer ID is whatever you gave me. One kind of nice trick is if you put a default value in, you can leave the default value in and check to see if that's what is still there. And if it is, this will evaluate true for every row of data that you pull out of the table. It's only 2 rows, so it'll ask the question, for this row, is it true that customer ID is equal to 0? If I left it at the default, that would be true. You get that row back. It asks the same question on the next row, and so on. So with this, if I execute the stored procedure without any parameters, it'll just figure I want everything. If I execute the stored procedure with a parameter value, a 1 in this case, it'll just give me that 1. Again, it's important to note, it's a best practice to include both views and stored procedures to provide abstraction access to your tables. This has proven to be valuable over time. It is like insurance, though. It may never be used. You actually going to spend some time putting together these stored procedures or views, and maybe people use them, maybe not. Views probably are going to be used more often than the stored procedure for just a basic select. But it doesn't take that long, and like insurance, when the day comes that you need it, you're happy to have it. So consider it an investment. Investments don't always pay off, but they pay off more often than not. And that is what people have noticed over the last 30, 40 years, that these abstraction layers are very useful. One thing to note is that database administrators will force people to use their stored procedure by restricting access to the table and granting them access to the viewer stored procedure. In the case of a stored procedure, I might go through and say, okay, you can't get at customers for select, insert, update, or delete at all if you're part of the public role. But you can select data from the view, and you can execute the stored procedure to select the data, or the insert stored procedure, or the update stored procedure, or delete, or whatever. This forces people that are developing web applications to use your stored procedures. Windows applications use your stored procedures. This is a much better option than letting developers work directly with that table, any table you have. So always keep this pattern in mind. Again, this has proven to be a best practice over the years. Next up, I want to talk a little bit more about that transaction handling store procedure, the insert customers, and how we can make it better by adding on error handling. See you there.